Hello and welcome to Victoriana. We're back after the Christmas and New Year break, and as is normal at this time of year, we're busy propagating. We've started on the grape cuttings. Got a couple of mixes underway now, so that we can start some seed sowing tomorrow as well. So the prop is sort of half empty. The weather is really horrible. Basically we're just having days of wet and grot and fog. This morning it was foggy here until about midday actually. But actually it's a really busy time of year. We've got an awful lot going on, and I'll just give you a quick run around the nursery. So that's the second bale of peat coming out of our mixer for the year. This one's going to be, well, this one is a seed and cuttings compost, and this is for the first of the sowings. We'll get that out now and start filling up some trays. We've had a good tidy up in here. This is the potting shed. Don't think we've been up this end of the nursery before, and like I say, we're going to get on with some sowing now. So as I said, up until about an hour ago it was thick fog. You couldn't even see the car park. Really wet and drizzly, but as it's brightened up for a minute I thought I'd pop out. We're out on the vegetable garden obviously. This is a bit we dug just before Christmas, but since Christmas it's been too wet, so there'll be no more digging for a while until it dries out a little. We're still getting some jobs done out here. Obviously it's not as tidy as we'd like, but that's the weather and time we've got. But for instance, we just found an area here. We needed to move our raspberries, so we're just mulching this area heavily here. And as soon as we can we'll dig that over, and we're going to plant raspberries down the side, which is next to the fruit tunnel. So there's still plenty going on out here. It's just trying to dodge the showers really. So here in the veg tunnel, not an awful lot going on at all really. We've got some strawberries that we're just keeping a little bit warmer, so we'll move those and space them out so we have some early strawberries. We've got the asparagus that we started in containers last year, but once again we won't see anything from those this year. We've got another year to wait on them. And a few raspberries, which will give us our early raspberries later on in the year. But the rest of it's pretty empty, and that's where we should really be at this time of year. So up in the top house here, we're pretty well jam-packed, which is the whole reason for having a greenhouse over the winter, I guess. The warm weather is causing us a little bit of a problem in that some things are jumping away, things like the cardoons and artichokes just there. So there's a bit more growth than we'd really like to see in January, and obviously if we get a frost, and obviously this house is unheated and we vent it, so the hard frost will come in here. A few things are going to get a surprise, and some weather is meant to be on its way. But other than that, no, full up house, lots and lots of things that will be following out for later on in the year and in the spring. The other area we managed to get sorted out before Christmas was the flower area, which as you can see is all nicely dug over. And will sit ready for rotivating later on and then planting even later on. But it's good to have it tidied up because it's virtually the first thing anybody sees when they come into the nursery, so we're always pleased to get this area sorted out first. One thing we are lucky of, particularly all the wet weather, is that obviously we've got all our fruit out in November, so it's all penned here. These are all fruit trees ready for dispatch. And they're all penned, so we don't have any problems of trying to lift them in this grotty weather. They're all sitting here all nicely strawed in, so again we won't have any problem with frost or anything on them. So it makes life a lot easier in that regard, and especially in a year like this, which is why we do it. So that's it for this month. We finish off looking at some rather weedy seed trays. These are actually some hellebores that were sown not last autumn, as in autumn 2012, but autumn 2011. Germination was very poor last year, but we knew that the seed was fine and we knew that the seed would sit there. And sure enough, over the Christmas period we've had excellent germination, and got some very, very nice plants to prick out there actually. As I say, there's some weed in the trays, but that's because the trays are now 14-15 months old, so it's not expected, not really unexpected, but yeah, it's another job to get on with.